Hi, my name is Anaji. I am 15 and this is my story. I decided to make this video due to if DSS decides to send me back to Ajne's house, I fear for my life because if I go back, I feel like I might pass away and not be able to say what I need to say. I was at my sister's house for a year starting March 26th to January 27th of 2025. When I was at my sister's house, we would argue, we would fight, I would be mistreated, I would be abused and harmed, put into work that wasn't what I was supposed to do, clean up after people. It was hectic. That summer of 2024, I had an acting gig where I would go out to the studio, we would act and do a play. I did that play 8 times in 1 week. And she promised that she would be there, and she wasn't. The last day of the acting program, I called her because they said we're going out for ice cream. I called her and I let her know, hey, can I go out to go get some ice cream with the kids that were at the acting program? They were also high schoolers. At that time, I was 14. I was a middle schooler going into high school. She said, yes, what time would you be home? I was like, no later than 9:30. We cut the ice cream place short because the kid that picked me up and dropped me off at home said he needed to go back to his house and get ready for another acting gig he had the next day. I said yes. He dropped me off at my house. We were fine. The next day, she had ordered us pizza. She accused me for having a man in her house when there was nobody in her house but me and myself. So that happened. When she came back, she brought Axel, Kevin, and herself, Ajane, and she said, why was there a man in my house? You were fucking him. And I said, I didn't fuck anybody. And we left that at that. She left me alone with Axel multiple times over the summer alone. I had to fend for ourselves. There were times where I cooked for me and him, cleaned for me and Axel. I had to watch him, took him out, basically made sure he was okay. At that time, I was 14 and he's 8 years old. My sister wouldn't leave any food for us. She would make phone calls asking if we're okay every few hours. And usually we wouldn't answer because we were like spending time with each other. Me and Axel would be playing games on his tablet, playing Roblox, and making sure that we were okay for ourselves. That night when she did come home, it was a Wednesday that summer, she came home reek of alcohol. She was telling me how much she didn't want to be there anymore, saying her life was miserable, saying how Kevin mistreated her and how she didn't want to be on earth anymore. Me and her danced and we basically talked. Me and Ajane talked about our life and her past. She said she didn't want me to go back to my mom's house because she felt like if I went back, I would be another version of my mom, saying how my mom was abusive and how my mom would kick them out in the snow and rain and have them walk. So that's when the abuse started in Ajane's household. After that week happened, I displayed some aggression and some behaviors. She basically was making me mad and angry and telling me how I shouldn't take care of an 8-year-old when she's not there, and how basically that I need help and I need a therapist and I act too grown for my age, and if my mom wasn't in my life right now, I wouldn't be acting this way. She called the therapist on me and they evaluated me saying I'm not crazy, I just need medication. After I flipped out because she told me to go to bed on a Saturday during the summer because she didn't want to deal with my behavior. I freaked out, basically saying, I'm not finna go to bed when I've been chilling all weekend. You haven't been here. I've been to myself. I've been cool, calm, and collective. She told me she wasn't gonna deal with this. That night, she called one of my therapists and told them I'm going to go to the hospital and she's not gonna come pick me up. And they told Ajane that she can't do that. After she heard that, she got mad. She snatched the phone and she went up to her room. The next day, which was a Sunday, we talked and we made rules saying if we're going to do a certain thing, like eat, we clean up after ourselves. If we need to talk, we're going to say it in a respectful manner. But she never followed those rules. She always cursed at me. She always hit me. She always told me I was worthless, how I should start cleaning up after myself more, how I need to raise my grades, how I should have done those acting gigs when I should have did a retake of my EOGs because I failed it. And that made me feel some type of way because why are you telling a 14-year-old she's not good enough to be doing these things when you put me up and you sign me up for those things? After I expressed that, she got mad. She was like, well, you need to understand I did that for your safety and for your health. And so I flipped out, screaming and yelling and cursing at her. I threw things and she said, okay, you're going to the hospital. And after I heard that, I started apologizing because I was mad and frustrated. So she told me to go lay down and I went to sleep. That Monday, it was the 28th. We were talking and she went to work. She came home because she comes home late. And we got into an argument because then I wasn't allowed to have social media. I was talking to one of my friends. They sent me an Instagram reel, which is technically a video. It was of a gay man who was dressed like a female. His front part was covered, but it was like a side picture where his butt was out and he was saying gay things. And my friend sent me that. And after that, I called him. I said, don't send me things like that. I can't get in trouble for that. And he said, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that again. He never sent me anything like that again. She asked for my computer. I gave it to her. She told me to log into my Instagram. I said no, and she forced me to log into my Instagram on my school computer. She said, well, who is this? Who is that? It was all friends from middle school, the ones I graduated with. She was like, well, he's sending you pictures of his private parts, which that never happened because he's a minor and he wouldn't do that. I grew up with him. And she said, well, you can't be having Instagram. Give me your Snapchat password, your TikTok. You're not supposed to have any electronics from now on. So she called her grandma, which is our grandma named Grandma Jackie. Grandma Jackie was basically trying to calm down the situation, diffuse it. And I said, shut the F up. Leave me the F alone. You're not my effing grandma. You're not related to me. And Ajane said, you're not going to speak to your grandma like that. And I was like, that's not my effing grandma. So leave me the F alone. I got up. I proceeded to walk to my room. Ajane, decided to stay on the phone with Grandma Jackie and kept talking. I had a pink book bag. I was packing my stuff. And I had 2 packs of underwear, 2 bras, 2 shirts, 2 pants, and my 2 computers. She came and ran in my room. She was looking everywhere for my school computer, my personal computer, and a computer Department of Social Services gave me and said, give them to me. After I did it, she got in my face. She said, if you don't give me those computers, we're going to have a problem. She kept trying to snatch my bag that I had. And each time I pulled away, she would get in my face and say, if you touch me, we're going to have a fucking problem. She snatched the bag. She dumped out the clothes. She took my computers, and when I walked up close to her, she pushed me. She said, if you come up to me again, your ass is going to be on the ground. And so that's when I went out through the bathroom door and I tried to leave. She called her boyfriend named Kevin, and Kevin came upstairs, put his hands on me, held me against the stair rail, and said, Anaji, just calm down. Calm down, Anaji. It's not this deep. You need to calm the F down. I told him to get off me. Ajane told Kevin to call the police, and that's when the police came and asked if I was okay. I said, she has my effing computer. Tell her to give me my effing computer back. She was up against her bathroom door, and after she wouldn't give me my computer back, I kept pushing her. I pushed her into her bathroom door. I broke her mirror, and she was pissed off, and she was mad. I stayed that week in the hospital. I was discharged on Friday, but she didn't come and get me until Sunday. They called Veronica Edward, who was my social worker then, and Elizabeth Wetmore, who was my guardian at Lytton, and told them she has a day to come and pick me up, and if she doesn't come pick me up, then I'm basically here to be here. They don't know what to do with me because I'm taking up beds in a hospital where sick people need. When she came to pick me up that Sunday, she was on the phone with Adonis Jones, which is my brother, and he was calling me all types of whores and sluts and faggots, saying I wasn't worth this life, how I need to be put in an institution because I was a messed up individual. So that next weekend, Adonis and Tay, which is his wife, and Alani, which is his daughter, came over. I was upstairs watching YouTube on the TV. Kevin and Axel went to the pool, and they didn't come back for 4 hours. Adonis and Tay, Alani, came inside the house. Adonis came upstairs, told me to go downstairs and sit the F down. I ignored him because I was mad. He snatched the remote out my hand, turned off the TV, and pulled me. He said, if you don't go the fuck downstairs, I'm going to push you downstairs and force you to sit down. I proceeded to walk downstairs. He was like, walk faster, I'm going to fucking push you. I walked a bit faster downstairs. I put on my shoes and I opened the door. He slammed the door in front of my face and he said, go sit the fuck down. His wife pulled me by my hair, proceeded to push me down on the couch, and told me if I got up, we would have a problem. They both took turns punching me, kicking me, slapping me, pulling my hair, calling me all types of beasts, saying I'm worthless. Tayana punched me in my mouth, punched me in my eye. I had bruises. Adonis decided to slap me and made it worse. My nose was bleeding. So when Ajane had called, she was like, is she okay? Adonis and Tayana was like, yeah, she's fine. She might have a little bruise and a black eye, but that's nothing. It's fine. And that was the last week of summer. And so that Monday, I didn't go to school because Ajane said, you're not going to go to school. You have a black eye. You have bruises. I don't want them to call DSS. I don't want them to say anything. So I didn't go to school until that next Monday. It was messed up. She got mad because I missed so many days, and she was just mad. Fast forward to December 3rd, basically my birthday. A lot had happened. It was that time when Viachi, which is my brother, had came home. He was basically there. He had guns. He had drugs. We didn't do anything for our birthday. We basically chilled. She brought a cake and pizza, and I went straight up to my room, closed my door, watched TV, watched the movie. I was basically like being to myself. On the 4th, that's when my brother's friends came to our house. We smoked that day, and I went to school high. I saw yellow people, and I saw different colored people there, and it was because of the effect of marijuana in my system. That weekend, his friends had came. They brought drinks, and they basically had fun, and I drank with them. I smoked, and it was like a fruity, sweet kind of drink. It was in a tall, brownish orange bottle, and it was good. I can't lie. It was good, and I wanted to do it again. I remember it because we made ices out of it because everybody wanted to try it. After that, we basically slept through the night. We were fine. I went up to my room due to the alcohol and the marijuana in my system. I was high and drunk at the same time, and I fell asleep. I slept peacefully until I heard yelling, and that gave me a headache because after you drink and you smoke, it gives you a certain effect on your body and it makes you feel a type of way. That Saturday, we ordered pizza, we chilled, and we basically just stayed to ourselves. Fast forward the weekend of the 27th of January, we had an argument. She looked at my report card from semester 1, quarter 1. She was mad because I was failing my English and my Spanish class. And I told her, well, it's all about annotations and poetry. We know that Juliet and Romeo killed themselves because they thought each other was dead. Annotations, who has time to underline something if the teacher is speaking at a fast pace? In Spanish, how am I going to speak Spanish or learn it when I wasn't there for the first week of school, when he was already past that real fast? My other classes, I'm always smart in math or history because those are the classes I like and I learn. She got mad. She told me to pull up my grades. I had 27 absences and everything was going downhill. When she closed my tab, I had Netflix and I had Snapchat up. And she was like, the fuck is this? Why do you have Snapchat up? Get the fuck off my bed. And so she was like, well, who is this? Who is that? They were all middle school friends from Ridgeville Middle School, all under the age of 15. Some were 13, some were 14, of course. And she said, why is there a 23-year-old in your DMs saying, come right on my face? And I was like, that's not what it says. And if it does say that, then it doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean to do that. And so she was like, well, it's either you're going to get off this bed and fight me, or you're going to do these squats. At that point, she had the heat on 80, and I felt dizzy, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think straight. So I got off the bed, like standing weird. She told me to do these squats. I was doing these squats, kind of cricket. She told me to have my arm out in like a T pose, like a cross, as if I'm doing something else. I was doing these squats with my arms out, and she got up. She was like, how about I go put on some fucking shorts, and we're gonna see what the fuck's gonna happen. So she came. She kept kicking me in my leg, my thigh. She kept kicking me in my calf. She kept holding my hands up. She was like, well, if you don't do this right, you're going to fucking fight me. So after she kept kicking me, I told her, I can't breathe. My heart hurts. I can't think straight. I can't stand. So she was like, excuse me. She was like, we'll go to the wall and do some wall sits. I barely did wall sits because my legs was hurting. They were shaking. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think straight. She kept pushing my body down, and I can't lie, I did fall a couple times. Yes. But I got up, and I kept doing them, and she kept counting slowly with each number to 1. She did 10, 9, 8, each time very slowly. That's when her boyfriend, Damian Jones, decided to get up and go downstairs with a Viachi, who were smoking marijuana at that time when he is 17. They came upstairs. Damian and Viachi pulled her aside, and she said, you're going to finish these wall sits or I'm going to come and fight you. I did my wall sits, and I went in my room. She busted in my room, asked me to give her my school computer password, and she said, you're not going to have the school computer. They're going to give you paper and pencil. After that, she started bad-mouthing me to Biaggi and Damian, saying how if I couldn't do these wall sits and these like squats, I'm worthless and I shouldn't be doing this stuff. I need to lose weight. How I need to stop eating so much. I need to like be perfect, have good grades. She doesn't know why I'm acting like this when I have everything. She tells people she give me anything I want, but accuse me for stealing $60 when I could ask for it. She wants me to have all A's and B's whenever I ask to stay after school. You always say, well, I need to know if your teacher's going to be there beside you, watching you, making sure you don't go anywhere. I told Ajane, I said, well, where am I going to go in the school? What am I going to do with a teacher sitting beside me if I'm going to be doing my classwork? She got mad. She was like, well, you don't need to get smart with me. And I was with Miss Katie Gilliland at Valentine Ridge High School while me and her were talking about my schooling. She got mad because of that. So after she told me to go in my room, said I'm not going to have a school computer, I went to sleep. I heard commotion in her room, and I didn't think about it because I was mad. I went to sleep. The next morning, which was the 27th, I got up. I was in a good mood. I woke up at 5 o'clock on the dot. I got dressed. I was in this jacket I'm in now, a pair of 16 pants, and I don't wear 16. I wear 18 to a 20. They were small. I got to school, and before I left, she said, well, where's your school computer? I was like, I don't have it. She was like, well, it's not in my room, so your brother must have it. I said, well, I don't know if he has a school computer that you said I can't have. So she went in his room, and she looked, and she said, well, he doesn't have it. I went downstairs. I brushed my teeth. I did my hair because my hair wasn't in braids. It was out. It was natural, and it wasn't the best. She came downstairs. I was in the bathroom downstairs doing my hair, brushing my teeth. She knocked down my bag and dumped it out, looking for my school computer. She said, you don't have your school computer? I said, no. I told you I don't have my school computer. She was like, don't be smart with me. I was like, okay. So fast forward to me almost leaving. I put some Crocs in my school bag because that day I had gym. She came. She said, why do you have another pair of shoes? I said, well, I have gym today, and the shoes I was wearing which was sneakers. I said, after I get done with gym, I'm going to change it to something comfortable. She was like, oh, okay. And she kept getting smart with me, kept calling me names, saying you're a bitch, saying you're not worth this, and saying when you get home, I'm going to beat you. So I grabbed a different jacket. I grabbed this tannish colored jacket, and I walked outside in the rain. She's like, it's either you fight me or you're gonna get the fuck out. I walked outside. I stood outside for 20 minutes in the cold rain. It was pouring down. In a jacket, there's a shirt, 2 smaller pants, shoes, and 2 different bags. I went to school. I told them I don't got a school computer. I don't got no electronic. I told Katie Gilliland that I got kicked out and I got nowhere to go. I'm not doing this with Ajane. And she said, well, maybe we can talk this out. I was like, there's no talking nothing out with her. I'm done with her beating on me, abusing me, telling me I'm worthless, and not doing anything that's for my needs. She said, well, maybe we can just talk this out, and maybe, like, it was for the best. I was like, nothing like that is for the best. She was like, well, maybe, like, if you talk to her, then everything will be okay. And I was like, maybe. But right now, I'm not going to talk to Ajane. I'm not going to do none of that. You're not going to call her. You're not going to do none of that. My brother, the night before, he gave me my mom's number. I haven't spoke to my mom since the summer. I haven't seen her since the summer. When I did come see her during the summer, Ajane brought me over here for her will. She came over here, asked for food, asked for my clothes. My mom gave her food, clothes, like a mom would. And we left. I didn't remember going to my mom's house because at that time I was dealing with the abuse. So when I called my mom Monday morning, it was so early, she was halfway asleep. She was like, who is this? I was like, it's Anaji. I can't deal with this. Can I come home? I told my mom what happened. My mom was like, of course you can come home. Don't ever think that you can't come home in a situation like that. I'm always here for you. I was like, okay. She's like, do you have a way to come over here? I was like, I will find a way, but I'm not going to wait this whole day to say I can't come home and go back to her house and be abused when I got kicked out and have nowhere else to go. I called my mom in front of the office ladies. There was multiple times where I stopped off the phone. I was like, hey, I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm on the phone with my mom. My mom is on the phone. I particularly said mom so they know I wasn't on the phone with my sister, that I was on the phone with another adult. They said, that's fine. That's fine that you're on the phone with your mom. That's fine. That's good. My friend, her name is Michaela. Michaela came to the school and her dad dropped her off. I apologize. I said, hey, Michaela, is it okay if your dad dropped me home? I need to go home. She was like, yeah, just ask your mom if you can go home and ask the office ladies if my dad can take you. I said, Mom, is it okay if my friend's dad drops me off at home? She's like, yes, just get home safely. I turned to the office ladies. I was like, is it okay if Michaela's dad dropped me off at my mom's house? They was like, did your mom say yes? And I was like, yeah. My mom even verbally said, yeah, her dad can drop her off. They said, well, we don't see no problem with that. If your mom agrees, then we can agree. I gave Kayla my mom's address. We got in a car. He looked it up. He was like, dang, that's far away. I was like, I apologize, sir. And I kept saying, no, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Being respectful and having manners. And he said, I like that in a female.